Hey guys, what's going on? Sorry about no intro today, but I wanted to get this video out to you as quickly as possible and didn't need to edit if I didn't include the intro. So guys, today I am happy to announce that I did indeed get a perfect Magic Archer draft, and I want to give you guys the tips that I used to unlock him without one loss in the challenge. So we'll go over a couple of the replays, I'll give you my first impressions on the Magic Archer, and we'll have some fun. What do you say, guys? Okay, so let's unlock him together. I saved this moment so that we could kind of enjoy it together. Have any of you guys unlocked the Magic Archer yet? I want to know. Let me know in the comments. Let's go ahead and open the chest here. Do I have anything amazing? No, just some goblin barrels. Womp womp. But you can't complain because you already have the Magic Archer. So let's go ahead and review some of our gameplay here. Let's first go against what I really want to do is get into the drafting strategy as well. So I don't know. Let's just start with my last win, okay, guys? So as you can see, pulling up the match here, and this was a tough one. I hate going against Royal Giant in Draft Challenge, but I went with Hog. I think you pretty much always have to go with Hog, and I don't want any part of heal. So I have two bridge spam tower targeting units right now, so I have to go with guards in Ice Wizard. There was no choice about it because I needed an answer to the Royal Giant. So once we're inside the match here, something that you'll notice throughout all my gameplay, and I can't stress this enough to you guys, shout out to Darth Jar Jar. I watched a video that was literally a year old on his draft challenge tips, and I applied some of that to my own game, and honestly it made a big difference, and I'm kind of gonna regurgitate some of that to you guys right now. And the first thing is you always want to be defensive. I mean, there's so many decks out there in draft challenges that you just won't have a great answer to some of your opponent's cards, and your goal in a good draft is to give yourself a win condition, but also counter anything powerful that you pass to your opponent. But getting back to the first tip here, guys, you absolutely need to be patient and not the aggressor in these matches. You want to make sure you're holding your absolute best counter cards. A card like Ice Wizard is great because A, it targets ground and it targets air, and B, it's just great defensively, so I want to make sure I can save it in my decks. A Balloonin is another good card. A balloon is another great card for this challenge as a win condition, because after that you can pass your opponent all these ground targeting cards and you can sneak in that balloon as soon as you kind of ascertain what their counters are, and then you try to take advantage. So going to this match here, you can see that even though I have the damage lead, you know, about halfway through the match or so, I definitely want to make sure I'm ready for this Royal Giant. I mean, Royal Giant, you just put him there, and you know, if you didn't play that Royal Giant there in the back, I wouldn't have played the Battle Ram there. That was a sacrificial Battle Ram. It's not going to get any value. So I know once I send in that Battle Ram there that I made a mistake. And making mistakes can be costly in draft challenges. So that's why even that Battle Ram move, I should have had the wherewithal to know he has Royal Giant. If he plays him in the back, I'll be screwed here. And that's exactly what happened. What I wanted to have happen was that Battle Ram ready in my hand to punish opposite lane had he used the Royal Giant. So you can see here, I'm just cycling really quickly here. I'm using the Hog mainly to distract against that Magic Archer and just cycle against a lot of win conditions, whether it be, again, a balloon, a big tank, or really a Royal Giant, right? Ice Wizard is great to have in your deck, so I'm almost always going to draft Ice Wizard. Now you can see here I get another hit with his Hog, and you know, slowly but surely we're chipping away at that tower. Now another tip I would give you guys is to draft a big spell if you get the opportunity. Ideally Poison. I like Poison a lot in these drafts, even more than Fireball. Just my personal preference. I'm able to get a good value zap here, by the way, and I know one Hog push, maybe two, could do it here in this match. The opponent has no choice but to fire fireball my hog, which I'll take because he's not fireballing my tower if he's fireballing my hog. So at this point, what I want to do is try to get a couple value zaps to see if he gives them to me, and he did right there. So now I know I'm 2 zaps away from this victory. All I have to do is play defense, but I can't play anything but the hog here because I know he has Royal Giant in hand, so I have to remain aggressive at the end, and that's another key. It's okay to be aggressive at the end of matches, but not at the beginning. When you get into double elixir time, you can start letting loose a little bit more. Let's go ahead and cover this next match, and I want to give you my first impressions on the Magic Archer. So I put up a YouTube community poll yesterday, and a lot of you guys thought he was going to be OP or viable. Not many of you thought he'd be underwhelming or useless. My take is that he is really probably going to be well balanced when all said and done. Remember, you don't see the true potential of a card in a draft challenge. None of these cards, no matter what cards you have, are you going to see the full potential here. You can see this draft I had here, by the way. I decided to go with the Mega Knight, thinking that I could use that splash damage. I believe this was the match that I played that I passed him Barbarians first. Now I was not paying attention, but we'll see in just a moment here. He drops a Giant, so I'm just going to play it cautiously, but still do the right play. So I'm going to use my Bandit in the opposite lane. Now he's coming at me here with a Magic Archer and a Giant, so let's see what I do. I start by just cycling my Skeleton Barrel, which is a great move to play in the back. I was going to play my Mega Knight on that Magic Archer. However, the Skeleton Barrel actually does a pretty good job, so I played the Mega Knight against the Goblin Barrel instead. So not the start we wanted here in this match, but my opponent makes a silly mistake. They do exactly what I told you guys not to do, and that is using an aggressive spell, being super aggressive early on in the match, and this was indeed the match that I passed him Barbarian, so I took the Mega Knight, even though I knew I already had Golem, which could have been a risky play, but I felt like I had to do it. And here, I just bridge spam, basically, and the reason I do that is all because of one thing, and it's another tip for you guys. If your opponent makes a big, crucial mistake, be ready to capitalize on it. There's a lot of people who make a lot of mistakes in this challenge because of what we talked about, being too aggressive, not realizing that their best counter isn't in hand. At this point, by the way, I decided to give up that right tower. Didn't have a great answer for that Goblin Barrel in hand. I could have used, of course, Dark Goblin or Executioner or even Fireball, but I decided, you know what, let's just get one monster push here on this left lane, and I knew he had Barbarians in cycle, so I used my Fireball, and then I'm going to use the Executioner right away at the bridge here. So again, just remembering, and if you guys are bad at this, you can even maybe jot it down on a piece of paper or something. Remembering the key cards that you pass to your opponent, you know, it's just so crucial. That way you're ready for it. You have an advantage and a disadvantage in these matches, and that is, drum roll, you know 4 cards already in your opponent's deck, but they also know 4 in yours. So the idea here is to just set yourself up as well as possible. So what are the keys that we've discussed here, guys? We've discussed being patient is the number one, absolutely number one goal. I wouldn't say there's any card that you have to draft. For example, we know that somebody's going to get Magic Archer. I think that I want to say in these draft challenges, I would actually prefer drafting a Princess or a splash damage range troop over the Magic Archer. Now, of course, it really depends on what you're drafting, what your draft is looking like. I'll play one here, one more here, to what decisions you make. However, I really advise trying to get a spell, at least a small spell. A big spell would be great too. When I say big, I mean like the medium-sized ones, not rocket or lightning, although I would take it. In this draft here, you can see, you know what I want to do actually is just walk you through a couple drafts to end this video. So just what was going through my head. So let's go ahead and rewatch this one while I'm actually paying attention. So I go with the Golem over Giant. I always want to go with a heavier beatdown when I have the choice. So I would go with Golem over Lava Hound as well. I go with Archers because they're great defensively. Since I drafted Archers, I was tempted to go with the Balloon here, and I did. I did go with the Balloon. Like I said, no reason to have Hog and Golem in the same deck, and I have Archers. So at this point, it's easy. I'm going to shaft my opponent with that X-Bow, and I was able to easily win this match, even though he had Sparky and Rocket, which is the counter to Sparky. But at the same time, maybe he drafted Rocket after Sparky, and he was thinking to himself, myself, well, I don't want to give Rocket because it's a great sparky counter, which is a great decision, and I don't begrudge him for it. However, you can run into problems if you draft all your cards based on one selection as well, because it leaves you weak and vulnerable in other areas. There's certainly an art of some sort to drafts. Let's watch this one. So this one was a very tough one. You guys are going to be absolutely shocked. I went Bomb Tower here because I think that Bomb Tower is actually slightly underrated in draft challenges. And it actually came in huge. I'll play this ×3 speed for you guys, but it came in huge in this match. It actually did a lot for me. So I picked a Golem, I picked Dark Goblin, who I think is great over Fire Spirits, and I went with the Goblin Gang here, just to give me something against the Giant while I distracted it with the supporting troops, while I distracted those with my Golem or Bomb Tower or whatever, and I'll just play it in 4 times speed, but you guys can see how much value I was able to get out of this Bomb Tower. It was just fantastic. But guys, I hope I was able to give you a bunch of tips, and I wish you guys success. I hope you all unlock the Magic Archer. Again, I do think that he will be pretty well balanced. Not OP. I don't think he'll be OP. He does do the splash damage, but it's very hard to aim him in the proper spot. He's just got that, certainly not the Princess's splash ability. It's much more narrow and defined. He can be redirected fairly easily. So I do think he'll be a good card. I just don't think he'll be OP like the Royal Ghost or the Night Witch was upon their release. So guys, I just wanted to say again, thank you so much for watching. A huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Stay tuned for a maxed Magic Archer video. I want to try to be one of the first people to max him out. So stay tuned for that one, hopefully in just a few hours. So guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.